What's good? Welcome back. It's your boy Oliver. I'm here at Eight at the Table presents One on One, and I'm here with my guy.
Disco Dave, we are in here.
Yes, so we're gonna get straight into it. Today's
right.
topic we're gonna talk about. Oh, before I get into it, don't forget to like, subscribe, share on our YouTube page. Type in Eight at the Table. You get to see the full episodes. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. Tweet us. And once again, this is an independent show, so please enjoy your support. Keep commenting, keep reposting. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And this month and this year makes 4 years. We've been doing Eight at the Table.
4 years.
Yes,
I think I've been like
years.
3.5 out of the 4.
Yeah, but you fam,
Of
man.
course, of course,
So,
of
yes,
course, yeah.
4
So
years.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time. Time flies.
Yep, and they ain't gonna stop now.
That's
so
right. We're just getting started.
So tonight's episode, we're gonna get into why do men put women on a pedestal?
Why do men put women? Well, for me, I'm definitely putting my woman on a pedestal if she's doing the things to be put there. You know, so of course, if she has these great accolades, like in my last relationship, I have to say though that even still to this day, a lot of the exes that I've been with, I have close relationship, and I still put them on a pedestal because when I do make a girl my girlfriend, and I'm honored to be her boyfriend at this point. They've always been great at what they do. So like, let's say my ex-girlfriend, I helped her start a CMOS company, and I taught her how to make the CMOS, and she started a whole company, and now she's in California doing the farmers market and doing the CMOS, and she does commercials and all that. That has nothing, I put that on a pedestal, like she's still focused, and even though we're not together, she stayed focused. The relationship was breaking up, didn't do anything that put her unfocused. So I continuously put on a pedestal. I just had a conversation with her today. She called me to ask me, hey, I want to start doing capsules. Help me with the math of what I need to add in order so I could make this profit. So I appreciate that. I love that. So I'm going to put on a pedestal at this very moment. My ex-girlfriend before that, she's always elevated herself from being this part of her job. Now she runs the whole HR department. Like I've always been with women who were thriving and looked forward and had great ambition. So this is why I put them on a pedestal. If you're thinking right, you're being right, you're acting right, I'm putting you on a pedestal while we're together, when we're not together, anything in between, because we need to. I think it's to a point we just need to give people their flowers, while they're here, and stop talking about them when they're not here. You're here now, and I'm going to give you your accolades. So this is why you're on the pedestal.
All right. I mean, I have a different view. You know me. I'm not saying you're wrong.
Hey, listen, this is why we're here. You're not here to be me.
Yeah. So my take is the question is like, why? So I'm going to start with why, and then I'm going to go into why I think it's wrong to put a woman on a pedestal. So I'm going to start off with the why. I think we've grown, from young, this society of women supposed to look like this, behave like this, talk like this, dress like that, right? Okay. And unbeknownst to us, that is the pedestal. It's almost like, you look at your mom and she can't do no wrong. That's mom. And then you sometimes find out like, mom don't want to be a mom today. Mom sometimes might discipline you. And like, oh my God, why you beat me? You don't love me. We just trained. So I think society has allowed, put this, narrative on women. And I say it's unfortunate because that takes away a woman from being a human. It takes away from being a personhood, their personhood. Because what it is you're now saying that this woman, this human being is on this pedestal, and it's almost like she can't do no wrong. She can't pivot and maneuver. What if that same woman that you put on the pedestal, did have a lapse in judgment, did have an off season? Now, not saying you, Dave, but society would devalue that woman. They're going to talk shit about that woman. Let's just say like, before you met the love of your life, right? And the version you met she was amazing, this and that, but you kind of find out she had a sex tape or she used to scam. Now you take off that pedestal. That was her before. Allow her to be a woman. You giving her flowers, allow that flowers to bloom. It goes through different seasons. So that's why I say, as I was thinking about it, I was thinking that way. I said, you know what? No more pedestals. Allow that woman to pivot and be herself. And it's just beauty. So
I was just coming from a total like just.
But see, this is why I said we have.
Yeah, right.
You're not wrong.
Right. I was just coming from that good place. You're doing right.
Yeah.
I am receptive to what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know, there is some women. You said something about. I'm okay with that if I putting you on a pedestal because you're gonna come in, I'm gonna put you in high regards, and then all of a sudden, if a sex tape comes out, you know, some Kim Kardashian nonsense comes out at this point, you know, that's not who you are now when you're with me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm only going.
Society, look how society judged her. That's why society has put women on these pedestals.
At this point, I'm not worried about society because I'm the one behind closed doors within those four walls. I'm waking up to you. So if she's gonna start worrying about that and then she falls apart, then that's a different conversation.
Of course.
You know, if she's still good to me and we're loving and laughing and having a good old time, I don't care about a sex tape you did 3 years ago. It's what we're doing now. So I'm gonna put you on a pedestal. If you're doing great things while we're together, I'm gonna put you on a pedestal. I don't care about what the rest of the population think of you or your friends or your family. It's about what I'm seeing in you, and that's all that always gonna count for me.
I agree. I was in a relationship many moons ago, but I did the whole.
You still many moons ago?
Yeah, man. Still out here single, man.
I'm single too.
Since 2010.
No. That's not many moons ago. That's decade.
Yes.
You got to start using decade, okay?
Oh, I was dating someone, and I would put her on a pedestal, and that was because my ideology of what I bit into. She was, you know, into God. And you know, when you hear somebody's into God, they can't do no wrong. They can't make no mistakes. And I made the mistake of doing that. And I held her to that standard. And it was almost like, you know, smothering. You know, and I was like, well, you can't do this because you're this woman. You can't do that because you're that woman. And you believe in this. And it really,
you was judging her.
Yeah, so I put her on a pedestal. And it was
It
like.
allowed you to judge her.
Yes, because like, this is the pedestal.
Right.
And, oh, you're not doing that. That's on this pedestal. You're not doing that. I even put my mom on a pedestal.
Right.
Where like, because that's based on what she showed me. And when she started showing a different side, I was like, nah, I don't like this. But then I realized that, you know, I was digging my own grave by putting this person on a pedestal. Because nobody told me to do it. I did this. I'm holding these people, you know, near and dear to this stupid ass thing we call a pedestal, and I'm just like, yeah.
So where did you get that from, though?
The idea? Oh, you mean what?
Yeah, like where do you get that from? That when you was meeting people, that they were coming on this pedestal where.
Oh, okay.
You know,
I guess I was looking at like, you know, the whole, oh, women are supposed to be like this, and women are supposed to be like that, and men can be this way. That was just what I was thinking. I wasn't saying that out loud, but that was already in my mind because I'm just like, well, the women I choose, you know, I was on my cocky, pompous stuff. Like, you ever talk to dudes and you be like, yo, my girl does this, and in your mind, you're like, not my girl. You know, already that's on like, you already kind of controlling this woman. It's like, let her be human. So I used to be like, not my girl. Nope, never, not me. I'm too good for that. And it's really an I thing. So this pedestal is not about the women, it's more so about the person.
Right.
You know, it's just like if a woman put me on a pedestal, like, nobody told you to put me there. Please take me down. Climb on that ladder, take me down, because I'm going to disappoint you. You know, but it was.
Why would you think that? You see, why would you think initially that you would be disappointing anybody for being you? Wouldn't that be a reflection of they have, you know, an expectation they having for like a pedestal that they putting you on?
Yeah,
because I would never make that statement because you said another word. I would say there's words that I think we use like supposed to.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to supposed to nothing, and don't expect me to be on this pedestal, you know, be receptive to who I am. And then if you don't like who I am, then we could go our separate ways.
Agree.
You know, so what made you feel that you was going to disappoint her?
Because after a while, when you're in a relationship and you start seeing and hearing what the woman wants from you, you're like, oh, okay. Let's just say, for example, me and my girl watching a show.
Right.
And she's like, damn, I like muscular guys, you know, fit guys.
And you're nowhere near that.
And I know I don't.
You could be cut up like Bruce Lee.
No, I'm just string bean. I'm string bean. But she likes a Michael B. Jordan physique.
Right.
So I'm listening to this, and every time a Michael B. Jordan movie come on, or anybody that's that built, she keeps saying that. In my mind, I'm like, you can take me off that pedestal because I'm not going to the gym. I'm not going to do that. So that's
do you ask her the question right there? Do you go, hold on, babe, give me a second. you keep saying this. This the third movie we watched with Michael B. Jordan, and you keep saying how you love his body and you would love to be with a guy with that type of body. You know I don't have that body, so why are we together at this point? Do you ask that question right then and there?
And that moment is where the ego comes in or the defense comes in. You know, anything but that. You know, that's why like back then,
So then what comes in? What are you saying at this point?
I say, look, that ain't gonna be me. I just says it. Instead of having a conversation, that's not gonna be me. Cold day in hell. Okay,
so now there's shade being thrown back and forth. And this is what's gonna perpetuate the problem. Is in a better, I would say for me, I would just say, hey, let me ask you a question though. You know I'm not built this way, so why are we together then if you're entertained with people that's like that? Because I'm not gonna go now work out and go to the gym and build this physique the way you like it because one day you're telling me that one day you're gonna meet somebody that's like that. And so if you met Michael B. Jordan, will you fool around with him and have a one-night stand with him? You know what I'm saying? Because like why we always talking about this? Like when I was with my ex, she was fascinated with Drake. Like she was super fascinated, my ex with Drake.
Got close in complexion though.
And I already knew though that the day if she met Drake one day and he took on, she would most likely go home with him.
Right.
Most likely, it was like it was already right. So and my thing is like, why do you feel like why you didn't have that conversation and why you feel like that?
Like I said, ego wasn't thinking. You know, I wasn't. You know, my mindset wasn't like how it is now. That's why I just like a whole pedestal thing. I don't agree with, but. What do you think, since you keep asking me, like, what could I have done, like, right now, like, if you could just give advice to people, how can they take someone, how can we just abolish, matter of fact, before we get there, do you think there could be some positive to putting someone on the pedestal? I don't think there could be. I think maybe it's a different word we can use, but just sticking with the topic, do you think there's any good with the word pedestal, and then how can we abolish it? So that's the first one.
For me, I would say that being put on I think I would put you on a pedestal for the things that you're doing. I think that...
Couldn't it just be praise versus pedestal?
Well, I think maybe the word pedestal, when we look it up, I don't know if it's synonymous with expectations. You know, because are you expecting this? You have these expectations that allows you to put them on this pedestal. So when they don't reach this expectation, you're like, damn, I put you on these high regards on this pedestal, and you're totally opposite. So for me, it would be more like, when you're doing great things, then I put you on this pedestal because I'm going to rave about that. I'm going to talk about that. You know, if you come over and to dinner and the food is good, I'm going to say, my girl cooked that. She cooks crazy, right? That steak was crazy.
Do you put on a pedestal now? Like, let's say she cooked 5 days in a row and it's all slamming. And then the next 5 days, it's not so slamming. Where's your pedestal looking like now?
No, and it would be like, what? I'm gonna ask the real question, like, what was you going through today that meal didn't come out good? Because the other 5 were. So at this point, that's a conversation. Are you experiencing something? Maybe she had a bad day. Maybe it was that time of the month. Maybe her thinking process was different that allowed her not to give it the love or the right nurturing when she was cooking from the last other days. To me, I always feel like there's always a reason why someone is doing something and experiencing, and it's the conversation that we most likely don't have. And what we do is that we're not having that conversation, and then we're holding back. And then when the shit starts happening too much, we blow up. And so at this point, you become this ticking time bomb, which allows you now to throw in this person's face about, I put you on high regards, I put you on a pedestal, I had high expectations, and you failed me. And then I come to realize when I did do this at some time in my life, that what I failed was myself. Yeah. And I needed to know better. I needed to do better and realize better and do things different. Maybe have the conversation. What are you experiencing today that allowed this experience to happen in this way? And she might come forth. Now you have to look forward to her being honest and saying, well, you know what? I didn't like what you said today, and it took me off my game, which allowed the food to be messed up.
Got it.
And that's very possible. I can honor that and say, I see that, you know, and then let me reflect on that. And at that point, say, I didn't mean to. We needed to have the conversation. There's ways. I think we just most of the time doing it all wrong. We're not just talking about things. We like to bring the past into the present, which ruins people's pedestal status. You know, so it's a lot that goes with this pedestal thing that people are bestowing upon, you know, their loved ones.
Just allow a person to be a person. You know, I don't believe in the pedestal anymore. I hear Dave's version of it, and I like that. To me, I would just word it differently, but
Right.
I don't like the whole pedestal thing. It's just unrealistic pressure, values for you to be this perfect person or whatever perfect is in your eyes. And honestly, that's more of a detriment to your relationship. That's more of a step down than put up. So yeah, to me, just allow a person to be a person. Like Dave said, ask questions. Why is this like this? Why is that like that? Why has this changed? But just allow a person to be, and you get to experience that person, and y'all just grow through things. So I'm anti-pedestal. So I mentioned earlier about like growth. So I could just touch a little bit on my personal growth. And for me, how did I go about my growth? I just kept listening to all the people that told me about myself.
So let me ask you, Oliver. So you've been on the show for 4 years.
Yeah.
And I know people experience an Oliver 4 years ago and now the Oliver 4 years later. So within that span of time, how do you feel that you've grown, as a man, and within those 4 years that people got to experience you on Eight at the Table, especially, for men, because most of the time we have this conversation and it's geared towards the female aspect. Let's talk about the male aspect for men to really know how men need to grow in your perspective.
In my honest, humble opinion, my growth came from people that really cared about me. They would tell me about myself. And I used to be very defensive, work with Alan, I work with a lot of people behind the scenes, and just people that know me personally. They would tell me about myself, and I would get defensive, like, no, that's not true. It's this person, that person. I just said, you know what? Accountability breeds respectability. Once again, accountability breeds respectability. And these people wouldn't be telling me this if they didn't care about me. So I had to accept that, I had to take it in. Yeah, it was hard. My ego, I didn't want to hear it. I'm a Taurus, could be a little stubborn and arrogant, but it was just, I said, you know what? I have to push through. And then and then with me not pushing through though and being accountable, I was like losing friendships. I was, girls wasn't messing with me. My names was circulating around like Oliver's this dude and that dude. And I was like, nah, I don't like that. So it just took me to humble myself and really take that in. Because fellas, I'll be honest with you, regardless of any relationship, friend, work, you're doing business, sex, if somebody's telling you something, it's just only for the betterment of you. Don't always, there'll be some people that maybe gaslight the situation, but you better than you. But if somebody's really taking their time out to tell you something, take it in, because they could have just silently backed away. And next thing you know, like, yo, where they went? You didn't give me no heads up. So my growth came from me like just taking in what people were saying, putting my pride aside, and just like, yo, I want to be a better human being. It was a choice. It really was a choice because, like I said, the people around me were like, I started seeing them moving differently, and I was hearing things about myself. And just really taking it and being honest. It is not easy. Of course, it's not easy, to sit there and accept certain things about yourself, right? It could be a plethora of reasons. You didn't grow up that way, or you just think you know it all. But look, with any growth in life, you have to go through growing pains. They're saying it takes a village to raise a child. It's not only for children. It's still for adults too. It doesn't stop there. You never stop learning. You never stop growing. So that's the reason why, I've changed from the Oliver, what I was saying when I first started Eight at the Table to now, just really taking it in and wanting to grow and wanting to be a better person.
So in that regards, what keeps you still single? Are you getting are women confronting you? Are they talking to you? Do you have these opportunities? Or is it by choice that you're just like, I'm still doing the inner work because you've been single for a long time? Since the beginning of Eight at the Table, you have shared your singleness and
a long time.
And now you're telling me you're still single. So is it by choice, or how long does it take to do the inner work as a man? Because it don't take that long, for me. For me, it don't take that long. Like, how long is it going to take you? Like,
when God sends you a sign, you answer. God isn't in your style. No, honestly, what kept,
we're leaving it up to God.
What kept Oliver Luke single since 2010? I would say.
Yeah, that's over 12 years.
It's a mixture of. Let me tell you. Here's the real growth and real transparency. What kept me single, but here's the honest. Like, some men, you know how we talked about, like, sometimes you should date your wage? Remember you talking about like
yeah, people say, yeah, date
dating
when you
your
can
age.
afford, date
Date
your
when you can
ways,
afford.
date what you can handle. Yeah,
so
yeah.
my
right.
thing is this: like I know what I'm lacking. I know what I'm broke and broken in. Meaning like I'm kind of still a broken person, right? You know, there's things I'm still healing through.
Still?
Yeah, I mean, and I'm gonna get to that, but like, you know, you'll see a beautiful woman, you know she's doing a thing, and you be like, I want her. But you gotta ask yourself, what could you bring to her? And it's not about money.
Right.
What could you really bring to her? Oliver, are you stable? Are you fit? Are you mentally sound? Do you know a relationship is a marathon? It's like, you know, the bridge doesn't stay up. The Manhattan Bridge don't stay up because you fixed it one time. It's consistent work. Do you got the stamina for that relationship? And I don't. I don't always want to be a boyfriend. Sometimes I want to be lazy. Sometimes I want to procrastinate. Sometimes I want to sleep with other women. So it's like, you know, and the people, oh, you can find those kind of women. I'm just not in the space right now to even deal with any relationship. Open, closed, semi, half a circle. I don't want a relationship. And
But I mean, you
I'm
date-
still doing the work. No, I don't date because dating means that I'm out here looking.
Okay, so you had intimacy within the 12
No,
years.
I dated one person. I dated one person.
Oh, but I mean, you have
I've had lots of sex. Lots of
Okay.
sex. Lots of sex. And
Oliver's getting his freak on.
But-
within these 12 years.
But yes, but I actually did meet someone and we were talking for 7 months, and that was the closest I felt to almost a relationship. And we both consciously uncoupled because we realized that I was inadequate. There was things I was working through. Like I knew I always had daddy issues, but then there was like a little bit of mom issues, and it took her to like really, you know, shine a light on that. So I say that to say that, you know,
you had to uncouple yourself because
yeah, because at the end of the day, it's like I kept projecting on her because she's the same sign as my mom. I take signs serious. And she reminded me of my mom. And I was projecting on her like, yo, stop talking to me that way. Stop moving like this. I was just like, she don't look like my mom, but sometimes I was talking to her.
I hope not.
Talking to my mom.
that would start getting weird. Outside, your mom's age, and she starts looking like your mom. Like, hold on a second.
But I realized that it was a lot going up here, and I still didn't have enough to give here. You know, so it was just like, it was a lot of conflicts. I was like, yo,
I don't think there's a time frame. Like, it's been a long time. Like,
but I enjoy the single life. I think I'm enjoying it a little bit too much. It's like I'm high off this single life.
well, I would say if I wanted to self-proclaim myself a psychiatrist here,
Go ahead.
you know, I would say that, you know, there's nothing wrong for me because I'm almost in a similar situation when it comes to being single and loving the single life, because the only person I'm obligated is to me.
Yes.
You know,
Damn, it feels good.
it's still in all, I am open and receptive to what, for me personally, I'm open and receptive to what comes in. And what I see you doing is when you have these conversations throughout the years, you always talk about you always feel good at bringing up the lack of something that you are experiencing.
On myself, not the woman.
No, on yourself. No, credit to you. You're not projecting.
Yeah.
You're putting it on yourself. And I would say, you know, like it's like rewiring, like giving yourself better affirmations or something in the mirror. Like wake up in the day and say, today's going to be a great day. Look in the mirror and say, I'm going to love myself more today. You know, going to sleep and say, I had a great day and I did great today, and doing it over and over and reprogram. Because at some point, I think it's a conditioning that you might have bestowed upon yourself in all these years of saying these things about yourself, that it became a consciousness reality that you're experiencing. Because me knowing you as a bro, I don't see that. I don't see that. I hear you saying that, and I don't see that. You know, I see the way you interact with people. I see the way you interact with the ladies on the set. You know, and everybody loves Oliver, and everybody has a good time. So how is it that you're not transitioning or translating what we're seeing into an individual? You know, that you're not able to, like, now you're with a girl for 7 months, and in 7 months you had to tell her, yo, listen, this ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Like, you reminded me of this, and I'm feeling that. And, you know, if you're not changing that in 10, 12 years, when does it change?
It may not. You know, you don't. Do
Oliver's
you
gonna be
believe?
single forever.
Do you believe that?
So if you want the dick, see Oliver, because he's willing to give it. He just don't want the relationship.
No, but do you believe that some people are meant to be single forever? Do you believe that?
I don't believe in anything. It's a great possibility that you can be single for the rest of your life. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I just want to know, like, because I struggle with that. Sometimes I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna do a relationship, yeah, I'm not ready. Sometimes like, yeah, I want kids, I don't want kids. I want marriage, I don't want marriage. And I'm on the fence.
But what happens when you meet that individual that's receptive to who you are? And she likes Oliver for who he is, and she's not looking forward to change anything that Oliver has going on. She just loves his company. She loves the way you make her laugh. She loves the intimacy you're sharing with her. And at that point, are you going to push away? Are you going to find an excuse at this point?
It's just,
See, you're ready to go that same route. You see, you're about to go right back on that path, brother.
Because I'll be honest, Dave. Let me tell you, and it's not even about sleeping with other women. Being single, I don't know how anybody else run their single life, but it feels so good. I'm alone, but
what do you
not
like
lonely.
about it
I'm
so
alone,
much?
but not lonely.
Right. Okay.
I get to answer to who? No one.
Right.
I get
Okay.
to do what for who? No one.
Okay.
Take who out on a date? No one. You hear that?
Or anyone.
You save a lot
Or
of
you could-
money by
Oh.
switching to single. You know what they said? You save a lot of money switching to Geico. You save a lot of money by switching to single.
You save 100%?
What? And my deductible is
Now-
zero.
and now,
But
is
no,
it-
I'll be
is
honest
it
with
money,
you.
though?
It's money. It's my time. I say this. I am not ruling out a possibility of what Dave said. I might meet that woman that accepts me for who I am. But I have to be ready to receive that, right? Because you can lead a donkey to water, can't force it to drink. At the end of the day, like
They're
that
saying
woman,
it's a horse, but a donkey.
Yeah.
Is it,
Horse,
you feel like a jackass
burro.
at some point that you use
If
donkey
people
instead
say I
of
am,
horse?
they say I am because how I'm living. But it's like I just think with anybody, man or woman, but I'm talking to the fellas like, look, if you feel like me, do not go to that woman. Be honest. Leave that woman alone. Don't interrupt. Don't interfere with that woman. Say to yourself, you know what? I'm going to stay to myself. I do not just want to disrupt this person.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's many men that just
Yeah.
hold on to things for all the wrong reasons.
And as far as like just for me, you said how long does it take? I would say this, I'm not actively like, I want to go to therapy. I haven't done it yet. I do want to go to therapy, but outside of that, I'm not actively doing the work because I don't feel there's anything wrong with where I'm at right now as far as me being single, even if it's been for so long. I don't think on the grand scheme of things in my life, what I want, I don't think that's so big. I actually want to give more light to building my career, building my wealth. I've been chasing women and sex forever. It's not going nowhere. My mother always told me that and I didn't listen to her. So now I'm just like, I want to pour into another version of myself so then that other version of me can be whole.
So then why is that not happening then? Because
I am doing it, being on this show, doing other side projects. Most men don't.
you do fashion at any point? Because you're very fashionable.
I model. If you need me to do production, I do it all. But I feel like most men can attest to this. If they don't got whatever they need to have, whether it's their own car, whether it's their own home, money, career, they're not gonna really feel comfortable looking that woman in her eyes.
Is that what's going on? Do you feel like
I don't feel
there's some of these things you don't have in place that allows you not to be receptive to this woman because then she might look down on you because you don't have these things to offer, the car to pick her up.
You know what? It has gotten to that. Not with the last girl. Matter of fact, it gets to that with every woman, but it just looks differently. One girl might be like, yo.
The Uber's too much.
they may be like, oh, you should go for this type of job. Or why don't you do this more? So eventually
A lot of insinuations.
Yeah, I am looked down at this differently. I do get looked down. They eventually plateau and be like, yo, this is cool and all, sex good, we're fun, we look good together, but I need more. And they're right. They're right. In the sense they're right.
Why are they right though? If they already told you great qualities. They like you, the sex is good, you spend quality time with them. It's crazy how some of these things are just not enough. Because if she's doing what she has to do at this point, and she's working, and she's doing the right thing for herself and all that, then all she needs you for at this point is for good companionship.
There's a mindset though, right? At the end of the day, right? Let's say, you have a girl and you see that her mindset is not consistent. Like one day she'll be on her entrepreneurial grind, whatever it is that she's into. And then the next week is like, perfect example, Issa Rae with Lawrence, right? At one point he was doing great. And this was like season 1 of Insecure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're talking about the show.
Yes, the show.
Okay.
So in the beginning, I'm sure he was doing this thing, and then he had lost his job. And Issa was always out there working and hustling, doing a thing. And She loved him, but she got tired of seeing him in the same spot. But he was like, yo, I'm working on something. I got it, don't worry, just give me time. Eventually, she left him, right? She had no patience. Now, I don't think let me not say she had the patience, but it ran its course.
Right.
I am not mad at her for doing that. You know, every woman is different. Some women's gonna do the Issa, some women is gonna stick it out. But I'm not mad. I've dated a few Issas. I've dated that. So I have a saying that I don't want to learn nobody's job. I want to come, for the most part, at least with my resume filled, that I can do the job. Maybe one or two things you show me. But I don't think it's fair to that woman or that it's fair to that man if a woman is like, yeah, I'm your girl, but I don't know how to cook yet, so it might take me 6 years. What? Or you know, vice versa. Oh, I'm going to get to the bag, but it's going to take me 10 years. Like, you know, like, I'd rather, you know, get certain things in place first, and then we can grow together. Because I understand nobody's perfect. You want to have it all, but I want to have enough so that nobody can wash their mouth on me and say anything. And I realized that I had enough women wash their mouth on me. And, you know, I put myself in those positions. You know, yeah, they knew what it was, but it's different when you get into it. And like I said, I know I'll be on my lazy mode. I know I'll be on my I'm grinding, not grinding mode. So I just, if I want to be a bum, I'm staying to myself. I don't want to be with no one for them to tell me that. These are like my messy phases, and I just don't want to hear it. If I can deal with a woman,
messy phase you had?
The messy phase of, like I said, the up and down of 1 minute I'm on my shit and then 1 minute I'm not. If I meet a woman
how long is that messy phase? Is that messy phase 7 days?
It doesn't
14
matter.
days?
It's that's why I'm single. It could be forever. It could be 3 years. I can't give you a number, but if you're gonna rock with me, I would love for you to say nothing. It's almost like trusting my blind faith, right? You believe in God? You believe in some higher being? But you don't see it, right?
There's a source.
You believe in a source, right? But you don't see it, it's not tangible, but you have that faith. You believe in that source. So I kind of want women, if you're going to deal with me, have blind faith. I know it sounds crazy. If you're going to deal with me, have blind faith. Have blind faith, because that's why I stay saying I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
But I mean, you're going to hear it eventually.
It's all right. So I got a mom for it. That's it.
You're going to definitely hear it eventually. So listen, I thought this was great. You know, Oliver's the homie. We've been doing this for a long time. I ate at the table for 4 years, or 3.5. So Oliver, you know, what we doing? We closing out?
Yeah, we closing out.
Thank you for joining us.
Listen, this is Ate at the Table presents One-on-One. And that's right. Got it here real from my guy Dave to me. Listen, I'm single. I'm working out my ish. You know, when God sent me who was meant to be, I should be ready and equipped. See, he wants so. God, I say you attract. You know, you start putting out there what you need. You know, I'm single as well, and it's for totally different reasons. You know, it's just because I choose to, because I'm right where I'm at, and I'm looking for someone who's walking that same similar path that I am. You know, I don't care if you want to complain. I'm good with all that. I'm very knowledgeable enough to be receptive to whatever you feel you want to say. You know, I'm good with that. That's not why I'm single. I need somebody. I need companionship. That's what I need. I'm not looking for a relationship no more. I've been through many relationships for many years. Now I need companionship. Someone that knows themselves well enough, like I know myself. So when we come together, we're not looking at each other's faults. We're appreciating each other's experiences. And then together we could walk in alignment. So thank you for joining us at Ate at the Table. I know Oliver's going to do better because he is better. Also, no pedestals, all right? Let people be them, no pedestal. This is Ate at the Table, presents One-on-One. Thank you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, repost. We're independent. Please support. Either way, we love y'all. We're independent for now. Next time.